Demon Slayer is literally the greatest anime of all time.
Hey, what if I told you, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck.
What is up, guys? You are tuned into Psycho Past Shoot Score, giving you content on anything sports, sports psychology, and anime related. And so my name is Philip Solomon Toure. I'm a sports psychology consultant and of course an anime enthusiast. So if you love any of those topics and you really want to support this channel, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And so for this video today, what I'm going to be doing is talking about 8 of my favorite animes. And these are 8 animes which I watched over the years, which I really loved compared to some of the other animes that I've watched. And that's why personally they're my favorite. Some of them are going to be widely recognized, widely kind of agreed upon as being like a top tier anime. Some of them may not, and I'm more than happy to kind of discuss that and get into that in the comment section. But these are 8 animes that I feel that have been really good over the years. So when talking about these top 8 animes, what I'm going to be doing for each one is answering 4 questions. So first of all, what the anime is, a little description of it. Hopefully I'm not trying to give away too many spoilers, but I'll be giving a little description of what the anime is. Secondly, I'll be talking about why I love this anime and why it kind of made my top 8 list. Third of all, some discussions around the craziest scenes of the anime overall. And the fourth question is when I knew this anime made the list. So what episode, what was happening, what arc that I really felt when watching it. Okay, yeah, this is a top tier anime. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first anime on my list, Hunter x Hunter, and that, oh my gosh, is an amazing anime. I had to of course start off strong, and Hunter x Hunter ticks that strong box. So basically, for those who don't know what Hunter x Hunter is, Hunter x Hunter follows the unique story of Gon as he adventures into the world of hunters to find his dad, who he hasn't seen his whole life. During his adventures of getting his hunter license, he meets some unique characters, Killua, Kurapika, and Luorio. They're all on their individual journeys and have their own reasons for becoming a hunter. They all work together to develop their abilities to become successful and accomplished hunters. So that's a little description of what Hunter x Hunter is. So the reason why I love this anime is, compared to some of the other animes that I've seen, this is one of the only animes where it felt just like one long story, rather than in comparison to a lot of other animes where it feels that it feels like a combination of arcs which then forms a story. Hunter x Hunter feels like it's just one long story, and their transition between environments, different storylines, different plots and different arcs is seamless, which is so amazing to watch and just kind of experience. It just feels like everything flows effortlessly together. And so some crazy scenes which I loved watching is kind of just painted throughout the entire anime. So the Phantom Troop arc, the Chimera Ant arc, just so many different fight scenes, so many different developments. Greed Island, when Gon and Killua are developing their skills and they're facing off some crazy villains and different situations they're getting into. Just overall within the entire anime, there are just so many different plots which develop the character, things that make you laugh, things that make you cry, things that make you excited, things that you don't know what's gonna happen next. Really just keeps you on the edge of your seat, and that's why I love Hunter x Hunter. It's just an amazing piece of work from start to finish. So the time that I knew that Hunter x Hunter made the list was during the Heavens arc, because I felt before that in the Hunter arc, it started off really well, and throughout the arc was amazing. But then a lot of animes, they have a strong start but then aren't always able to kind of keep that. But this anime hands down definitely did. And I feel during that Heavens arc, when they were training, when they were competing, that was the arc where I really felt that, okay, now this is top tier. And it just blew me away from that arc onwards. And so that's why Hunter x Hunter is on my list, starting off strong. So the second anime on my list of my favorite 8 animes is Hajime no Ippo. And so Hajime no Ippo is the story which follows Makunouchi Ippo, a little bullied high school student who was saved by a boxer passing by and ends up joining his boxing club to find out more about the world of boxing. From here, we see his extraordinary potential for the sport, combined with his determination for continual development. With over 1,300 manga chapters, Ippo has experienced many trials and tribulations as he journeys to become a Japanese boxing icon. So the reason why I love this anime is due to the attention of detail that they put in this anime. There's a lot of sports animes out there, some of them I've really liked, but the ones that I really love are the ones that they really apply a lot of attention to detail, and a lot of things that you see in the anime are actually things that you see outside within the sport. And as you can probably tell from some of my videos on my channel, I love the sport of boxing, and so one thing that I really enjoyed when watching this is seeing the unique styles, the unique drills, the unique kind of exercises and press conferences and everything that really went into that anime, which really brought it to life. And so some of the crazy scenes in the anime which I really enjoyed was, of course, the fight between Ippo and Date. That boxing match was really great, saw some great technique, was really interested in the result. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. Another thing is seeing his rivalry develop between Miyata Ichiro as well as other featherweights that he's been fighting over his career. And of course, when Ippo showcased the Dempsey Roll for the first time, I was going crazy when I saw that. Just seeing how he was really thinking and training behind how he can attack whilst defend and coming up with that move. Amazing. And so the anime scene or the kind of situation where I was watching it and I was like, no, okay, this is GOAT tier, this is top tier anime, was the fight between Ippo and Vogue in their first fight. That fight was so amazing. I was so invested, thinking that it was going to go one way, then the tables turned, then the tables turned again. There was just so many layers in that fight. When it was over, I was like, okay, no, this is top tier anime right here. And so that is why Hajime no Ippo is on my list. So the third anime on my top 8 anime list is Hitman Reborn. So Hitman Reborn draws similarities to the Italian mafia, as the main character Suna is the next in line to become boss of the Vongola family, a powerful mafia organization. Reborn informs him of this and teaches all the skills he would need to become a boss. Multiple tools are used to get Suna ready for his position, and the story takes us through multiple arcs as he gets stronger and navigates through his leadership position. So overall, I really love this anime, but when I was first watching it, the first couple of episodes, I wasn't too convinced. It was just really comedy based, really kind of silly, which is okay, but it's not really something that I would put in my kind of top tier favorite 8 animes. And so there's a couple of like beginner episodes, I wasn't too sure. But the more episodes I watched, the more and more invested I got into this anime, and I'm so glad that I continued watching it. It was amazing to see the character development and the power abilities of the main characters develop as the story progressed, and different story plots that kind of came into fruition bit by bit, which had potential at the start of the anime, but then really came into its own as it progressed. And that's why I put it in my top 8 list. So some crazy fights that I really enjoyed watching was the first kind of go around between Suna and Mukuro. That was a really good fight, and I feel that fight was the turning point with the anime. And it went from being a highly comedy based anime to really start to show the potential of the fighting scenes and the potential of the power abilities that they've shown in the anime. That I feel was a tipping point for the anime. Some anime fights that I really enjoyed, of course, Yamato's fights, because I'm just a really big fan of just sword fights and sword fighting anime implemented into different animes, and so those fights were always amazing, seeing different techniques, seeing different kind of water-based techniques. It was really enjoyable to kind of watch those fights. So the anime episode kind of situation, which I feel was a tipping point and made me really feel, okay, no, this is a top tier anime, was actually what I was saying before, that first fight between Suna and Mukuro. That fight was amazing. Those guys were throwing it down, and it was so amazing to see Suna's kind of development and actually using his abilities a lot better. And I thought not only was that the tipping point for the anime, but that was the tipping point for me to put it on the list as well. And so that is why Hitman Reborn is on that list. And I really hope the 2 manga arcs which haven't been adapted into animes as yet, I'm praying that it does come back, because those 2 manga arcs I feel are the best arcs of the manga. And so that is why I put Hitman Reborn on my favorite 8 list. And so the next anime on my list, one I feel a lot of people are going to agree with me on, is Naruto. And so Naruto, for those of you who, I don't know how you don't know, but for those of you who don't know, Naruto is about a child, Naruto Uzumaki, who was born as an outcast of his village. He didn't know his parents. Everyone stayed away from him due to the nine-tailed fox being sealed within him. This show is all about Naruto's amazing, inspiring journey to gain the acknowledgement of his village and attempt to achieve his goal of becoming Hokage. And so, I mean, I don't know if I have to give a reason for why I love this anime. There are just so many. This anime is one that I started watching, one of the first kind of ones that I started watching. And so it did kind of go on my list very early, but I'm so glad I put it early, because it definitely did kind of prove its worth and kind of stay strong in my favorite list as the show progressed from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, and as different story arcs continued and everything kind of unfolded. This anime was amazing. Regardless of all the kind of plot holes and different kind of negative aspects of this anime, overall it is a masterpiece. And so fight scenes that I feel were really great, that I really enjoyed, I'll do a few from Naruto and a few from Naruto Shippuden. So starting off with Naruto, of course the Chunin exam, Rock Lee versus Gaara. When Rock Lee takes off those weights, I nearly screamed when I first saw that. That was an amazing fight. Another fight within Naruto which I really enjoyed, of course, Sasuke versus Naruto, the first part. Fights within Naruto Shippuden which I really enjoyed was Orochimaru versus Naruto, Jiraiya versus Pain, of course, Killer Bee versus Sasuke. Killer Bee is probably my favorite character. So both animes, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, they had some amazing story arcs, amazing fight scenes, amazing character development, and that's why it's definitely on my list. The scene or the situation which I feel made me think, okay, no, this is a top tier GO anime, was in the Chunin exam within Naruto, and it was Orochimaru versus Sasuke. That first fight, when you could really see the ability of Sasuke definitely develop from the previous fights that they've been fighting against Zabuza, and then fighting against Orochimaru, who was just on another level compared to them, and then seeing that kind of cocky little bit between Naruto and Sasuke when Naruto comes in. That was a fight scene, and that was a situation where I was like, okay, no, this is a GOAT tier. And mind you, when I did watch it, I was very young, and I'd only watched like 1 or 2 animes, but I knew, I just knew at that point that was an amazing anime, and it went from strength to strength, went to Naruto Shippuden, and that is why I put that on my list. And so this ends part 1 of this video, looking at the top 8, my favorite 8 animes, no particular order. Like I was saying first in the introduction, there's definitely going to be some animes I'm sure you agree with me. Some of them I'm sure you definitely disagree with me, but for me these are my favorite 8s, and these are my favorite 4 so far, and these are kind of the reasons why. So let me know in the comment section why you agree with me and which ones you agree with me on, and vice versa, why you think I'm horribly wrong and why one anime should be on it. And for those of you who your favorite animes haven't been mentioned, stick around for part 2 of this video where I'll be looking at my final 4, and maybe your anime will be in that one. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed this video and I look forward to the next video.